Hey guys, how's it going? So, I just got off watching the stream not too long ago with Ethan Van Sciver and Comistorian. It was about like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And, it's not what I was expecting. I know the moment Ethan said he's gonna go be on Comistorian's live stream, I was thinking, oh man, it's gonna get good. It's gonna get good. They're gonna get about talking about the stuff going on with the industry, with comics. I was thinking, okay, and Comic Historian's gonna share his thoughts of why he thinks fanboys are doing this and the whole thing with SJWs, and Ethan will politely and kindly show him the facts of what's going on at comic book shops, them closing up, and things he's noted and the things that he's had to endure. With harassment by other comics pros because he doesn't agree with what they've got to say. Yeah, none of that really happened. None of that happened, and at first I was kind of disappointed. I was like, wait, what is this? This is not what I came here for. But then as I was watching, I had to really think to myself. I was like, is your first instinct to chew out people and antagonize them when they have something to say? Now, Comics Historian said he didn't want to get involved with this whole situation, but then, he stated his thoughts about what needs to stop. And I was like, well, if you're not going to do anything to help or change it or, recognize the problems, why are you getting involved with this? But then at the same time, I thought I was like, we don't want to be the same things that we complain about or hate, right? You don't want to be against the whole thing with SJWs and antagonizing customers and comics pros, because we've seen that if the artists, writers don't agree with what they got to say, they will turn on them in a second. They can agree with a lot of things they say, but the moment they can converge off to a different path and they're like, hey, I don't agree with that, they get attacked. But I think this was something that we needed. It's not what I was looking for. I was hoping that we were gonna get to the good stuff, right? And Ethan has been known to handle things really well. Handling sensitive subjects, or sometimes knowing when's best times not to address things. And really, they just talked about comics the whole time. They were like, oh, a lot of it was about focused on Green Lantern, and they were talking about, oh, who do you think would be a really good Green Lantern? What do you think of, what type of lantern would Wolverine be? And I think he said, oh, I've done so many commissions with Red Lantern Wolverine you wouldn't believe. Or they talked about, well, what other books would you do the art for if you didn't do Green Lantern? And he mentioned that he had been offered Teen Titans, and he said he would prefer to do Green Lantern, and that's why he was doing it. They were talking about the Fantastic Four and some Jack Kirby stuff, and it was fun. It was fun. It just wasn't what I was expecting. And Ethan, I should have known better to think that that's what was going to happen, because Ethan, of course, he's got to think about what is he going to say, because he's in the comic industry. So he's in the business of building bridges. And I'm not saying we like to build up walls, or I shouldn't say we, that makes it sound like just a group of crazy people. But a lot of people that like comics and aren't cool with the things that these SJWs are doing, we just straight out put it out, and it's like, hey, this isn't cool. But he has to do things a little differently, which I respect that. People will go to his channel, and maybe this is a good idea. People would find out about him, go buy his books. How many people bought his books after him creating a YouTube channel? How many people have tried to get him fired, who are no doubt less successful than him? I mean, think about that. People trash him, but you look at their sales, and they're doing horribly. They're telling people not to buy their books. And I'm not saying none of them are talented, because some of them are good artists, some of them are competent writers, some of them are really good colorists, but their whole PR, Marvel's whole PR situation is just horrible. That's the only way I can put it. Yeah. So the stream was good. I'm pretty sure after this, Ethan's gonna get a lot more subscribers. He's no doubt not Marvel. DC must love the guy because I'm pretty sure he's gotten so many sales off of trades and comics. And I think we need to have people doing different approaches. I think Ethan's the person, the calm uncle type, that'll be like, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to insult the customers. Hey, maybe it's a good idea to listen to criticism. It probably would be a good idea to talk to the customers on Twitter and see what they like, see what they don't like. Of course, it's not good to change things on a dime just because one person say they don't like it. But we want to interact with this community and get people going to comic book shops. So he has the way he goes about it is a more, how do I say, I don't want to say caring, but yeah, it's a more caring approach to it compared to maybe Diversity in Comics, who's like, this is trash, this isn't good. This person posted this on Twitter, this isn't good. This is horrible. These are the type of guys that are killing the industry. This needs to stop. And I think we need people like that. We need people like Diversity in Comics. We need people like Yellow Flash that will post like 4 or 5 videos a day saying, this is what they did, this is dumb. This is what they did, this is dumb. We don't need this. We shouldn't do this. These books should get canceled. This is not okay for them to do this to customers. Why are they hassling their own peers that work at Marvel? Why should that be okay? We need Captain Frugal to be more of the middle ground, to kind of do those same type of things and do live streams. We need Nerd Wonder and Hot Pink Geek to have the Harem stream, to give a women's side to it. Because yes, comics are predominantly male oriented, or predominantly a male, hobby. There are women that are into comics that like know a lot about comics. That's the thing. So they can give their ideas. I mean, people will say, "Oh, Dan Slott calls people sexist." Well, what happens when he calls a female customer, a woman, let's say like Nerd Wonder, like, "Oh, you're sexist"? Like, well, I'm a woman. That's not the case. I don't like this because the way you portray these characters, they're drawn unattractive, look like men. No woman would talk like this. Women don't act like this. So she can give her own perspective. We need a wide variety of people to kind of address the things that are going on. And that's the thing. We can have people like this with different opposing views, different thoughts about certain things. And we won't all agree with these different things. But as a whole, we're diverse. We're the very thing that these guys at Marvel are complaining about and saying that we need more of, that exists. You've got people that are into comics and have got their own published work that they're trying to get out. They're bringing up creative and brand new ideas. You've got people that, like me, that can't draw to save their lives, can't write to save my life, but I like good stories. I'm the guy that will go to the comic book shop bi-weekly, or every month or bi-weekly, to get these books. And if I can get one video out to say, hey, there's an indie comic, there are some good indie comics that aren't trash, have horrible art and lackluster writing. There are books like Descender, there are books like Hadrian's Wall, there's books like Drifter that are sci-fi stories. If you're looking for sci-fi stories, cyberpunk stories, there are people that are artists on Instagram that have amazing art with cyberpunk art, cool just concept designs that are trying to get their voices out there. I can help share that, even if I don't have hundreds of subscribers, thousands of subscribers. If one person is able to share this with someone else that can share it to their other friends, I feel like I've done at least something. So we can all contribute, even if we don't go out and just attack every single person. If they don't agree with the thoughts of what we've got to say. So it was a cool stream, and after thinking about it and just making this video, I think this was a good thing that needed to happen, to just not necessarily ignore what's going on, but just address. Let's just enjoy comics. Let's enjoy comics and talk about what we love, but at the same time, address that there are problems when they needed to be. Address that there are books that just should not be around. There are people that are in the industry like, what's her name? You know the person, Mags Visaggio, who said, "Oh yeah, I would like to write about this, but I have to write about stupid superhero action figures," in her tweet. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, why are you writing comics? Why are you at Marvel if this is your thought? That stuff like that, this mentality of just entitlement, is that what it is? Underqualified, not qualified, entitlement, trolling? Is this just the best epic troll, one giant epic prank that Marvel's pulling over us? I know Benny from Comistorian says that this is some type of cyclical thing, that this will just go away, but I'm just like, is it? Is it really? And then you see the Captain Marvel photos that no one's really hyped about, and just no one seems to be really excited about Captain Marvel. It doesn't seem like it's getting much buzz. I know it doesn't come out till like next year, but no one's really excited about this, and it doesn't help that the books are trash and that they keep on getting rebooted every couple months, and that no, people like female-led books and movies. That's not the problem. And people say, "Oh, you don't like diversity," but I'm like, you don't want a black superhero. I'm like, that's not true. If you wanted to make an Iron Man book, you shouldn't have killed Rhodey. Why would you kill James Rhodes? He could have filled in the role of Iron Man, and you could still have Riri Williams with the Young Avengers, and he could have been training her on how to become a superhero. He's like, I know I'm not a genius, but I can share these nuggets of wisdom of the difficulties and trials I've gone through and have seen Tony go through to make you be the next reigns of superheroes. And if she's not Iron Man, because she's Ironheart, why not give her her own costume? But you know, there's things like this. Or Monica Rambeau, who's Spectrum, I think that's her name, who's in the Ultimate. She could have been Captain Marvel, or she could have been another superhero that they could have pushed. There's so many minorities that have existed that just get pushed to the side. I'm like, why go through this and replace these other characters when these other characters haven't really been explored? Falcon could have been a cool hero. I think just the whole Civil War II thing, and I know there's some people that honestly enjoyed Secret Empire. I don't know. I think maybe the fact that Nick Spencer and the way the whole situation was handled, because from what I've heard, Nightwing, even though it's not a huge big thing, even though it's not really pushed that much, it's kind of like people said this is what Secret Empire could have been. I honestly think if they didn't try to make this like them throwing the bird at the fans and make it an Elseworld story, or like its own graphic novel, that could have been cool. And then you get Captain America back after this whole situation with Nick Spencer, and then 3 issues later, it's like, oh yeah, social justice warriors. And it's like, why do this? And I think we need pros like Ethan to like kind of just bring in like a calm, there's like, guys, it's gonna be okay if we just go to the comic book shops, if we try to do this and just address these problems, but not go out of our way to insult folks. Like, I mean, he does call out people on their crap, but the way he does it is a little bit more what's the word? Classy, professional. Yeah, I guess that's more professional. So yeah, the streams was pretty good. Definitely check it out if you haven't. And I'd like to see how things will work out in the future, in the next couple months. Seeing what books will get canceled at Marvel, how things will pan out. I've seen CB Cebulski starting to post more again. I don't know what's happened. He's just been kind of in the shadows. Hopefully he's actually going to do more stuff, and he's not just going to be, the guy that's a placeholder for Axel Alonso to kind of be like, hey guys, things, the ship's not sinking. I mean, it's clearly not sinking. Things are okay. I hope he's not one of those type of guys to just be a placeholder. Hopefully he'll actually in the next coming months really put his foot down and make some changes and do some things to improve Marvel's situation. But yeah, if you like this, share, comment, subscribe. Leave your comments at the bottom and let me know what you think. What are your thoughts about the stream with Ethan Van Sciver and Comistorian? If you've seen it already, if you haven't, let me know if you have any questions.